Hi everyone.
Hey, how you going?
Hi Tom.
Good.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
Going.
Hello.
Um,
Uh,
do you have any other people coming along for testing, or just yourself?
No, just me.
Okay.
Yep.
that's okay.
That's all right.
Thank you.
So, I can send you the URL in Zoom,
Cool.
and
That'd
you
be
can
good.
open up the website. And if you could share your screen, that'd be great, so we can watch how you navigate the application.
I'll just put it there. Okay.
Okay, cool. So,
All right. We're
this is the
in.
application.
Can you see?
Yep, we can see. Yep.
I'll I'll just get rid of it. Only working on a few things concurrently.
Yeah.
Okay. And that one and that one. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So, what we'd like to do is just to perform usability tasks, we'd like to give you some scenarios to work through in the application and
Yep.
record your process with your permission,
Yep.
and so we can make notes for our class report.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good.
Cool. So, firstly, we'd just like you to show that you can use the map and select a rectangle around the Greater Hobart area.
Okay. So. There we go. Okay, so okay.
Okay, great. Now,
Yep.
so progress to the next step and select a time period from the 5th of January 2020 to the current date. And
Okay.
select temperature and wind speed as variables.
Cool.
Now, view the summary page to ensure that you've selected all the correct desired.
Is that in the next step?
I'm not supposed to guide you, sorry.
So summary page, there is no summary page option.
Okay, so it's the next step. Yes,
Okay.
that's a good note for
I mean, just
something.
you could have. It's more an instructions thing, right? You could have just said press next step. That's that. It's not that it's missing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does say download at the top there, so maybe we should change that to summary and download.
Okay. So we've got a selected area. It's got an approximate size and shape, time period, selected variables. Yep, that looks pretty good.
Yep. So now you can download the data.
Oof.
Those are just
I would
placeholder at the moment. Yeah.
good. I would
Yeah.
strongly recommend not giving CSV or Excel
Yeah.
options at this stage. They both of those may be possible if they select points, but if you're selecting shapes like I am, you don't want to offer those options.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. Um, all right. Estimated subject size. Oh my god, this is amazing. All right, is that actually real?
No, that's not real. Sorry. It's
Ah,
all
okay.
purely front end at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right, so then you click the download button.
Yep.
So, yep, it starts downloading something.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Just a placeholder document at the moment.
Yep.
But
And if I click on that, oh, it even opens it in Pan- Panoply.
it
That's
probably
great.
won't work as
Cool.
it doesn't have any data in there. I don't think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Well, that's
But I'd
great.
strongly recommend you actually create a real file that can be downloaded.
Yeah.
Um, because NetCDF files, you've got access to some, or you could have asked me to generate a little tiny one that's easy to download.
Yeah,
There's
fair
an
enough.
error.
It was mainly
Excellent.
just to test
This is
file downloading code.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what you could have done instead, for example, is you could have got it to just download this actual summary table here as text or something like that, something that actually works. And yeah, so I think that because I got to have the other. This is me kind of mentoring rather than a client.
Feedback's appreciated.
Yep. So, but this looks great. Okay, so next, do I have to do anything else?
No, we were hoping to test on some other people that would be using the application. Unfortunately, don't have any, but if we could get some maybe next week.
Joey, there's still a step back for opening the user manual.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is a pretty easy one. If you could find where to open the user manual and open it.
Yep.
Yep. And so this is what the user manual will look like. And you've automatically done our next instruction, which is navigate the user manual. Just hasn't been written
Which is
yet.
good. This is great, guys. This is really great. Like, I'm, in terms of a front end that I wanted to have designed, this is perfect. So
okay, great.
I know the functionality may be missing, but the actual capability is good. If I go back to area? Oh, actually, do you have anything else that you want to test me on?
No, that's actually it. Am I right, Kim?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, that's cool. Do any of these ones work? These radius or polygon?
I think they are broken at the moment. They didn't seem to do anything. Yeah.
I think they're two excellent options. I think that's fantastic. Because that's basically the kind of thing everybody wants. So that's awesome. And does the import shapefile actually do anything?
No, not yet. But
okay.
That's in the works as well.
No, that's like, I know you guys are getting there, but this is great. It's really simple and clean. It looks awesome. It's easy to understand what I'm doing. I'm not sure if the next step needs to be maybe just in terms of arrangement of the page, whether you actually want see how it's at the bottom of the page, and we've got kind of all this white space in there. Maybe we actually want those buttons to be kind of up. Can you see my cursor? Yeah, up here, so that it's really obvious that you've finished that step and now you need to go to the next thing.
Yeah, okay.
As opposed to having to kind of go all the way to the bottom of the screen in order to be able to understand what's next.
Yeah.
But like in terms of interfaces that I've seen for this kind of work, this is great. Now you've just got to do the hard bit of linking it to the back end.
Yeah, that's semester 2's work.
yeah, that's cool. But this is really good, and particularly if, like, I think if you can actually get that estimated subset size actually working, and then having some logic that says, sorry, you're not allowed to download a file that's that big.
Yeah.
Or download a selection that's that big. I think that'd be really good. Or alternatively, it says, actually, this would be great because this is something the Bureau of Meteorology haven't figured out yet. So, it'd be good to show them up. That it actually says, oh, this is 5 gigabytes. We're going to break that up into 500 megabyte size downloads, so that you have to click on separate ones.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or alternatively, as you start investigating the options through Threads or OpenDAP or the like, where you've got a nice shiny front end on this, and actually the back end can do a lot of the work for you, and hopefully you'll find that as you engage with Indra and these other tools, but they might actually be able to break it up into manageable chunks of download as well. Yeah. So. But yeah, this is great. I think this is exactly what we want. I like the color scheme. It works well with the Climate Futures color scheme. I love the fact that you've got, the manuals there. It's really obvious what it's supposed to do. I'd strongly recommend investigating something called lorem ipsum, which is fake text that you can just put in. Because then, this is all coded up, right? So there'll be a coded option that you can put in fake text. You can say, put in 600 words.
Yeah.
And because then when you're showing people stuff, they can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. And you could actually have headings with lorem ipsum headings that sort of shows this is how the instructions would appear. So I think that's really good. Oh, there's a go to data portal. Here we go. Let's see if I can make that work. Oh, it's doing something. There we go. So that's good. So that takes me back to the beginning, which is a very sensible place to go. But if I've just gone through these 2 steps, maybe we want to make sure that that's like 2 buttons: go back to the beginning or go back to where you were, something like that. So
because when you open the user manual, it opens it in a new tab. So you've still got the other tab open with your other work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. I think that's good. I think that opening the manual in a new one is good. So because then you can actually flip between them. That's great.
You wouldn't want to lose your work. Yeah.
This is good, guys. You must be stoked with client feedback like this. Well done.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's only 2 pages with some text at the moment.
Yeah. But actually, this is something I gave feedback to the others as well. When I'm clicking through this list, I'm going to start with the introduction. So it's better to have the introduction as the page that you actually put content into.
Yeah.
And then the others can actually be like, oh, they're not working yet. That's fine. But the first one I'm going to click on should be the thing that you've actually like done first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I actually provided similar feedback to the other team doing the Kelp work. It's funny, and I'm not sure if I said this to them. By being a client and assessing how I feel when I first see something, I'm learning things that I should do better in my job. So, so that's been an interesting part, learning for me. So,
that's great.
The only other thing that I guess would be good is if you could click on one of these and if this is linked to our website.
Yep. That'd be easy.
And again, if that actually opens in a new tab, so it doesn't accidentally take people away from this point,
sure.
I think that'd be good. But just because it's so easy to put in, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, that's all right. That takes 2 seconds.
But this is great. And if you want some more people to look at it, I could get the rest of my team to go through this with you. I can find out if they're available right now, if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
I'll see it. Hang on. Give us a sec while I get on the phone to them.
Take your time.
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. I've got a bit of a weird request, if that's all right. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know how I've got this group of ICT third year students building a website for the Climate Futures data access portal? Yeah, they've built a prototype. It doesn't actually do anything, but it's the front end and just navigating around the front end. And they'd be nice if they could have a few people give them some feedback on it. I've just had a look. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks great. Would you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to run through that with them? And they've got a series of tasks they just want you to do to test out the website and give your honest first impressions. Cool. So what I'll do is I'm inside a Zoom meeting at the moment. I'll send you the link to that, and then inside the chat there's a link you can click on, and you can go to the website while sharing your screen, and they can talk you through it. So that'd be cool. I'll send that through to you right now, and you can join the team. Cheers. See ya. I'm sure you heard that. Dino's on it. I will just share this link with him.
The more people you could get, the better it looks on our report for for our unit, if that's as possible. 5 would be great as a goal.
Wow.
You can also stop screen sharing now if you like.
Oh yeah, you don't want to see all my stuff. Um,
What about your privacy? Yeah.
come on. All right, just sent that through to Dino, so he'll be joining on shortly. And then, once Dino's on, I'll then see if I can rustle up a couple of other users.
Great, thank you.
See if I can find some people. So yeah, I won't. Anyway, I'll see how that goes. I'll just wait until Dino arrives.
Yep.
Do the handover.
So Dino is a Climate Futures member?
Yeah, he works in our team. He's a programmer. He started in engineering. Here he is. And he's been working as a programmer now. Well, it must be for about 5 or 6 years. Could be longer. Yeah, and there he is. And so, yeah, he'll...
G'day.
Hi.
Yeah. So, Dino, these guys... Actually, I'm going to let them just do all the talking while I try and find somebody else to log in.
Okay.
Have a look. And so, yeah, I'll let them do that. So kind of ignore me being busy on mute for a bit.
Yeah, hi, we're Tom's team of students making the website for him. Can you see the link in the Zoom chat?
No, it's not there.
Okay, it must be because it was there before you joined. Here's another one.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're trying to get some feedback on our user interface by watching how people use it.
Uh-huh.
So firstly, we'll like to record you using it, if that's all right.
Sure.
Yep. And then at the end, you can give us any honest feedback that you have.
Yep.
Thanks.
Sure. How would you record?
Oh, you should screen share through Zoom, and we're recording the Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sure. Yep. Sick. Alright. Sorry, Zoom's a kludgy. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So our first task is just to could you please select a rectangle on the map around the Groda Hobart area?
Yep.
Cool. Now you can progress to the next step and select a time period from the 5th of January to the current date.
Yep.
Cool. And then select the variables temperature and wind speed.
Wind direction.
Oh yeah, sorry, wind direction.
Yep. Cool.
And then progress to the next step to see a summary of your selections. And here you can verify that all the information is correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you can download the data, which is just a dummy file at the moment.
Yep. Not sure. I guess.
Okay, cool. So everything there is working. And if you could find a way to open the user manual and then navigate the user manual for more information about the data portal. Great, thanks. That's all steps that we have to record you doing.
Sick.
Um,
This is gonna be sick.
so if you have any feedback, or you can sing our praises if you like. Or
Yeah. Do you want to just say it now?
yeah, go for it. We're recording.
Yeah. Will this take me back to the thing?
Yep, in the current tab. So
yeah.
user manual opened in a new tab, and that one goes to the data portal.
Oh yeah, of course it did. Oh, yeah. Entering the dates was kind of a bit weird.
Yep.
Like how it was day, month, year, but maybe I'm just so used to seeing dates in like year dash dash DD.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think that's
might be
it might be a
non-programmed.
Firefox thing because when we do it in Chrome, it's a bit different. So maybe we should use
Oh, okay, cool.
a universal plugin or something.
Oh, rather than just like the date type.
Yeah,
on
rather
the
than input type
select.
date. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
That'd be more user friendly, I think, if we use a plugin instead of. Yeah. Any other feedback?
Yeah, maybe. It's cool. I think the selecting on the map, I guess maybe you probably noticed. I just thought instantly that it would select, but that's like that was just me maybe not thinking. But perhaps I guess the first time it comes up, maybe you could. Oh, you can't really. Can you see my cursor? I guess if there was a tutorial, you could say select a region.
Yep.
That's that. I think, like I said, I think that was just me thinking, oh, I'm instantly gonna select a region.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of
So
panning.
Yeah, instead of panning. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I had exactly the same response, Dino. I kind of went over to the map selection and selected rectangle. And then the tools that you need are actually like hovering on the other side of the screen. So it might be useful to actually put those selection tools in a box that's called selection tools. So then you kind of know you have to click on one and choose one.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that. And I'm not quite sure what the go back, or is that undo? Is it an undo option? So you've got, so the arrows is the is the drag the map around. The square is draw a square, and then the other two are like undo or something. Is that what's?
Yeah, it should be undo and redo, I think.
Yeah. So I think that'd be cool to see put them sort of over where the map selection stuff is, so then it's obvious you're meant to actually click or select one. Are you able to control what they look like and where they?
Yeah, we should be able to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that'd just make it.
Oh, so you can.
Yeah, right. That's. I thought it was great.
Multiple features.
Yeah, thanks.
This is cool.
Now we just need to make it actually do things.
That makes a bit more sense now that I played around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The important thing is though is trying to get people's first impressions, to see how intuitive design is. Yeah.
And I think that was the one thing I missed. I was not able to figure out in the first couple of seconds.
Yep.
And it's not obvious what those buttons do. So I'd actually say that it'd be good to have like a word next to them that said, like, navigation, rectangular, like, rectangular selection, or, or maybe like spatial selection. Because if you change your option to radius or change your option to polygon, then that button should do a different task.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% agree. that needs some
So-
improvement.
Yeah, and therefore it might be better if the icon isn't square. It might be better if the icon has like some like points on it and links lines together or something. So it's kind of a bit more obvious what it does. But whether you want to make that icon change depending on what the map selection tool suggests is to how fiddly it is
Yeah.
to do that. It's such a minor issue, but I think in terms of general first feedback, I agree with Dino.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's valuable feedback.
I've asked Pete to join us as well, but I can't see him here yet. I'll just confirm I actually sent an email. Yeah, I sent it. So we'll see. Pete also, I think he struggled to come to the meeting today. So
Yeah.
Another meeting today. So it could be he's having trouble with his Zoom. But so yeah, Pete will be here shortly if he can. Yeah, did you have any other? And what were the other big things that you had as first impressions, Dean?
I thought it's good. Like, I guess if I go to the website, I'll know exactly what I can do on it. That was kind of, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, like what I was supposed to, like what was my goal. Like, I was downloading data. I guess I just, didn't think that's what I was doing. So I was like, I'm just going to do what you told me. But if I'm to use this to download data, I think it's very cool. Yeah, like I can say I want data over this area, or I assume when I click import shapefile, it'll import a shapefile and it'll overlay it on the map.
Yeah, that's the
That
plan.
would be cool. Yeah. Sick. Oh, this looks really good, guys.
Cool,
Yeah.
thanks.
Pete's not going to be able to join us. He's having trouble getting into this session, and it's not.
I made it.
Oh, here he is.
Hello.
Excellent. Cool.
Oh, there's Pete.
All right.
You can stop
Sharing
screen sharing now, thanks, Dean. And you can leave the meeting as well if you like, if you got work to do.
Sure. Yeah, I'll get to it.
All right, thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Dino.
Cheers.
See you.
So now to Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hey, man.
We're just testing our data portal designs. We'd like to watch you use it and get your first impressions and record you with your permission.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
So if you can you open the that link that I just sent in Zoom and screen share yourself using? Is that are you
Sure.
able to do that?
Should be able to.
Cool.
Sorry, guys. I'm just checking to see if anyone else from CSRO is in this call, or it's just me.
Hi, who's that?
Mahesh.
This is Mahesh.
Hey, Mahesh. How you going? No, it's
Good
just
one.
you. I tried to send an email to you guys saying that this was we were going to be doing something else
Okay.
today. However,
Right.
you're here.
Right.
And
Yep.
the team, and it would actually be useful for your team, for the ICT team, to talk to you about the front end that they've been working on for the last, since the start of the year, and getting your first impressions on actually what they've done and how it works would be really useful. So Pete's just about to go through that now.
Yep.
And so if you want to kind of take notes on sort of your first impressions, that you could feed back to them as Pete goes through, that could be really useful. So, but apologies that you didn't get that message.
That's all right. Just a word of caution. I'll have to leave in about 20-25 minutes, but I'm assuming that's okay.
Yeah,
That'll be
that's
fine.
okay, Yeah. So now I'll tell Peter his steps. So firstly, we'd like you to select an area around a rectangular area around the Greater Hobart area.
Righto.
And now you can progress to the next step and select a time period from the 5th of January to the current day. And select variables, temperature and wind direction. And now you can progress to the next step and view a summary of your selected information and make sure it's correct. And once you're sure it's correct, you can download your data.
And that estimated subset size is basically the size that you're estimating of that netcdf file, is it?
Yeah, except
Okay.
for the moment it's just static, it doesn't change from 500 megabytes.
That's
okay.
fine.
Yeah. And you don't have to save the file if you don't want. And we just have two more tasks for you, which is could you find the user manual and open it?
So it says 15 bytes. That's not very much. Is that
It's just
expected?
an empty file. Yeah,
Okay.
just a test downloading file.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Functionality.
Right. Yeah.
So this is, I suppose, more of a wireframing of what might this look like rather than.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
purely
sure.
front end.
Yep.
And we plan to make it actually work in the second semester of university.
Yep.
Cool.
So now your last task is to find the user manual and open it, and then navigate through the user manual, keeping in mind that the user manual hasn't yet been written.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. So we'll watch your recording over and over again to learn more about our design.
Yeah. Nice one. Yep.
Cool.
Nice.
And now you have a
Pretty
chance to
straightforward.
give us any feedback that you have.
Yeah. I guess the only thing is, I'm sure it's a huge issue, but there's a lot of wasted sort of space in this view. There's only a tiny little, on my little laptop screen, there's only a tiny little sort of bar for the map space. So I don't know, I mean, you can see that on my screen, I assume. It's like less, like about a quarter of the screen is used to view the map as opposed with, and there's all this extra space sort of doing nothing. But, you know, it's not a big deal, but that's the only thing that sort of comes to off the top of my head. Yeah. Everything else seems really straightforward.
Cool. Let us know if you have any more thoughts later.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, that's a problem with different resolutions and things that
Yeah, of
squished on
course.
some screens.
Yeah.
Try and work that out.
Yeah.
Mahesh, did you have any feedback based on watching Pete's first thing, and if he was kind of being your hands, as it were?
Yeah, look, I guess I'm just looking at this and going, look, this, what's been demonstrated here is I guess, really useful work. I'm just kind of, I don't know how many of you have looked at CCIA, the Climate Change in Australia portal. And I just wanted to understand if the intention, like the longer term intention, whether it is to kind of do something that's closer to CCIA or in the sense that it's mainly focusing on the ability to download relevant climate change related data sets in a easy to navigate manner, or is it to do some analytics, or is it to do some analytics on top of the climate change data sets? So I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen Indra. You probably got some demo of it while I was not able to make it to one of these meetings. So look, I guess the main question that I had was, how far do you want to stretch this more from a back end perspective than from a front end perspective?
We're only students doing this as a project.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, we only have until the end of semester 2, and the plan for the project is to just deliver data,
Yeah,
not to
okay.
display it or anything. Yeah, and
Yep.
we didn't actually get a demo of Indra while you were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, if you would like to showcase it.
Yeah, look,
Have
sure.
a quick peek. It's
So,
exciting.
so Mahesh, we had a chat, and one
Yep.
of the with your Data 61 team,
Yep.
and what came out of that was that the Data 61 team were all a little bit still getting their head around what the code that underpins Indra actually says and how to manipulate that and how to use that themselves.
Yep.
There was a little bit of uncertainty as to how capable or how straightforward it would be to take the code that has been developed and implement that on a different platform from the programmers. And as a result, I think the students have been a bit reluctant to really delve into that because it might mean that they don't end up finishing anything by the end of the year.
Yeah. Look, and look, I should apologize because I probably would have been slightly better able to direct some of that conversation.
Well, I think so. Where I was going to go with this is that the students had already spent quite a bit of time on developing this front end, figuring out what kind of tools they could port into it, and so they had to meet an assessment requirement now.
Yep.
And so they've focused on finishing that, and I think they've done a fantastic job on building something that can deliver.
Yes.
But what they need to do next is kind of the hard bit, is to make it when you click on those buttons, it actually does something.
Yeah.
And they were talking to Nikhil, is that?
Yep.
About maybe getting access to some of the code that exists that he's developed.
Yep.
And getting some help from him in terms of how to actually implement that on this framework, and this is all running out of Nectar.
Yep.
So that I'm not sure if that's been progressed yet because maybe the students haven't got to that point of implementing the back end. But that's the thing, we're really hoping to maybe use the simpler front end at the moment to just start making sure that those threads tools or the OpenDAP or whatever it is that Nikhil's developed works. And then if they have time, because that all gets implemented really rapidly, then talking about how maybe they could evolve the front end to offer some of the utility that Indra is offering. But it was just more about the fact that when they engaged with the team, they were a bit unclear as to the team that your Data 61 team were a bit unclear. I don't think it gave any of us much confidence in being able to achieve this by the end of the year. And that's why I think the ICT team have done a fantastic job of just going, well, this is what we can do in the immediate term, and meet their requirements. But there is certainly an interest from my side to see how these things can tie in together.
Yeah. So now that I've seen what you've done, it is in the short term, it is reasonably clear to me that the easiest step would be to connect up fairly simple backend instance of Indra to what you've got to achieve exactly what you said, Tom, and that is have those functionalities that have been developed, make it kind of live, so to speak, make it functional. So my view is that should be fairly straightforward, and with the existing capability that Indra has, it should not be a huge challenge for you guys to do that. I mean, in some ways, you don't even need to worry too much about, unless you're interested in it, you don't even need to worry about what's actually happening at the back end. All that we need to do is let you know what that connectivity looks like, and it just happens. Okay.
And this is what I did tell the ICT team when I spoke to you, that it should actually be quite plug and play, it means that they can focus on some of the more either the capabilities that haven't been solved, or alternatively make it look really pretty and make the interface really clean, which I think they've already done quite a good job on.
Yep.
And so I hope this is giving the ICT team a little bit more confidence in engaging, and maybe Mahesh is the best point of contact moving forward.
Yeah, look, I think the way this will work is I can tell Nikhil and others in my group that this is what's needed. I mean, otherwise what will happen is they'll try to interpret what's needed and both parties will get confused, right? So as long as that communication goes through me from my end and from you, Tom, on the other side, I think it should work fine. So, and in fact, what I've seen now is pretty much the bare bones of what we are developing for Victoria through Ramona. We can just take that and kind of use that as the back end for whatever is being done.
That sounds perfect to me.
By the ICT team.
And I think that's actually the kind of support that Joel and the other developers in the team need.
Yeah.
Because understanding NetCDF is tricky.
Sure.
And so taking some existing packages that already do all the heavy lifting and have inbuilt a whole lot of that kind of functionality that's required of subsetting and all that kind of stuff, I think would be great.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to share my screen and for some reason doesn't seem to work. Let me see if I can. Okay, yeah. So you guys can actually, because the INRA website is now up and running, so you can actually go and have a look at this. There's a bunch of use cases that are in there. These are all just videos showing how INRA works for various applications. So this is obviously quite a bit advanced in terms of the backend stuff that's happening here. So I'm not sure if you can see the video.
Yeah, we can see, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so this is just an example where we have got the gridded weather data for the whole of Australia, which is not dynamically downscaled. It's statistically downscaled, but that's, I guess you guys probably don't care about that. So it's basically showing what it's just taking the temperature layer. I mean, there's many of the other parameters that are available if one is interested in it. What this does is it kind of allows the user to choose a region, and then they can interrogate and figure out what the temperature change. So in this case, we've kind of said that potentially the user is somebody in the agricultural field, and they are kind of interested in looking at days above 40 degrees Celsius, which has an impact on milk productivity. And so they can use this tool to figure out for their particular region of interest, how many days above 40 degrees Celsius should they expect in going from current day to 2030 to 2090, right? So that then gives them an understanding of what are the changes they will be expecting in terms of milk productivity, right? So that's kind of one example of a potential domain use case for INRA. So this is actually going quite a bit away from or beyond just having the need to extract data for a particular region to I actually am interested in analyzing that data more than extracting the data. So there's multiple downstream users that one might want to focus on while using a system like this. The research use cases, look, I'm a researcher, I'm interested in downloading the data and doing something else with it for a given region, or it could be that you've got your own tools that you might want to use with, in conjunction with those data sets. And that's kind of where what you're doing is kind of heading. In the sorts of things that we are developing, it's kind of saying, okay, now I know what, I'm not that interested in understanding climate change data. I'm more interested in using that with something else to figure out what it means for my domain.
Yeah.
So Indra has got multiple use cases, and all these are set up as projects, right? So that one is more of an agricultural focused project. This one is more of a infrastructure risk focused project. So you're taking climate change data sets, in this case sea level rise, and then you're running an inundation model, and then intersecting that inundation model with things like land parcel information, median house price data, and so on, to get a understanding of what the flood risks will be in going from current day to future years from a coastal flooding perspective. So
and to give the ICT students a bit of an idea of what Indra is particularly useful for, when you buy land, you get a report on the kinds of risks that particular parcel of land is exposed to. And consultants produce those reports, and this is the kind of thing that consultants might be asked to include in there as a tool that they've used, and they provide that report back to the buyer. And so this is where they might, they go in, they look at a very specific point, and then they actually do the interpretation in the report and say, this particular location is exposed to these risks at these levels. And that's kind of how a use case that Indra might be into how it actually flows all the way through. What I find, and the problem that you're solving for me, this is one of the kinds of problems that I have. And I would eventually want something like this to be able to be used for our data, but it all uses the derived products. This is like, instead of being able to provide an actual time series of hourly data for 100 years, this would be using, okay, I have calculated the forest fire danger index all over Tasmania for 2010, 2020, 2030, 2040, and you can look at each one of those layers and see what matters to you in that space. And that's one of my tasks. The other task is I need people to be able to actually download the data to do their own work. And that's the thing that I'm getting you guys to solve. Both of these problems actually use much of the same back-end sort of infrastructure in terms of having to find the data, having to catalog the data correctly, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I'm hoping that Mahesh's team can help as kind of that first step of how do we get Indra onto the Nectar platform. That's what's useful for the Data 61 team. And it's useful for you guys because it actually helps you to implement some of that stuff more rapidly and with robust tools that have been tested by software engineers. So getting that stuff to work is great. And then I'm hoping that also moving forward, we might be able to implement Indra down another path, and so that we can actually get access to that functionality as well moving forward. So that's where I think it all fits. And that's why I think everybody wins in this situation.
Yeah, look, I can't agree more. I think I will go back and speak to Nikhil and others now that I know exactly what you guys are up to. I think the next step is actually it's very simple. And it's actually very complementary to what you're doing. So we will get the back end of Indra, which is what you are actually interested in, hosted on. The back end of Indra, the code base is actually, we will expose that to you. But we will also, in the meantime, we'll also get it hosted on the Nectar Cloud so that you can start working with it. And if you have any questions, I think, as Tom said, it might be better, at least in the initial instance, to come through me, so that you don't get an answer which seems as if it's too hard. Because I think one of the problems with the team that we are having at the moment is because we're working on multiple projects, which is focused on delivery, they then also kind of feel that they've got to do this extra bit of work. But the reality is there isn't really much work that they need to do. It's just a matter of just exposing the bits of Indra that you need to get you to the next step.
So Joel, can I please? I'm under the impression that you're the lead. You're lead helping the team. You're the lead developer. Am I wrong in that, or is
No,
that
you're
correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So Joel, can I say that you CC me into any emails to Mahesh, but then talk to Mahesh about that. Make sure if you have any questions about what it is you think you need to ask Mahesh, and you want to discuss it with me, then contact me directly. And then so that's all kind of, I know what's going on, Mahesh knows what's going on, and then Nikhil can help with that. So, but I want to allocate that role, if that's okay, to Joel, so that this can progress as seamlessly as possible. And then Joel, you can allocate tasks to the people in the team as you know is appropriate. Does that sound like a good? I just want to make sure there's some allocation of roles
like
before we leave this meeting.
With technical discussions being left for the technical lead. Yeah. I'll just say that Indra looks great. It looks fantastic. I hope that the back end can be integrated.
We have spent a lot of time on it. But I should also say that we really value this relationship with UTAS. So, because, we learn from other people doing work with us. And so that collaborative partnership is something that we would really like to have.
Cool. Yeah, we would definitely like to have the relationship as well. It'd be very cool for us to work with the CSIRO with this.
Right.
So, client liaison Kim has been trying to contact you, but I don't think he's managed to get a reply. Mahesh.
Okay, sorry, actually, it might be better. Do you have my mobile number? Because I get inundated with crazy numbers of emails.
Okay. No, I don't.
Maybe, Tom, you've got my mobile number, don't you?
I think so. Hang on, I'll just check that I've... Well, you could put it in the chat, Mahesh, is the other way of sharing it with the team.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, I don't actually have it saved. So I've obviously called you, but I didn't have it saved. So.
Okay, let me just...
And apologies, everyone. I'm going to have to go to another meeting in 30 seconds.
I've got to do the same, but I'll try and... there's the share... There's a share screen. I'm just wondering if there is a... I can't seem to find like a... Oh, there's a chat button there.
Okay, 043 666 1302. Great. Okay, so we'll reach you through there then.
Yeah, look, I tend to... I shouldn't tell this to everyone. I sometimes tend to ignore emails because there's so many of them that...
Yeah, it can be like that sometimes.
It's a bit difficult to keep track.
Thank you so much for making it to the meeting today. I think that's been really helpful for the team and given them the kind of confidence that I got when I spoke to you on the phone prior to trying to get this relationship to work.
Yep.
Guys, great job on getting the interface to where you've got it so far.
Yeah, looks good.
It's funny. There's been many attempts at creating these kinds of interfaces, and I think you guys have done a really good job, given it's your first try. So well done. And I think it's always going to be something useful for our team, and it's going to save me a lot of stuffing around. So thank you very much.
No problem.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops over the next few months. I now have to leave, but thanks very much.
Yep, no problem.
Great.
I've got to make a move as well, but we'll be in touch.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, just ours. Maybe we can chat with use the death room.
Yeah. No. Meeting. Yeah. That's
Okay.
all right.
So that means Thomas wants to Inja's team to help us for our back end coding to meet the requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Mahesh guy seems to think it'll be effortless,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes,
which
all
would be fantastic. It would be so good if we could just give it to them, say, can you put it in, and then they do it in one day. Yeah. He seems to know what he's talking about, but is he a technical developer, or is he just like, you know, the leader who tells everyone what to do?
I think Nikhil is the lead programmer, and Mahesh
Yeah.
is more like a project manager.
Yeah, like Tony.
So this guys is nothing, I think, in the team. Just chat with others. So Nikhil is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
That's all. Just keep touch with Nikhil, and maybe next semester we need some help from him. Maybe we just make sure to scratch any resource.
Mm.
I'm not sure in your team coding well can help us a lot.
Well, they have something similar to what we want. It has to get the data in the back
Yes.
end, and if we can use that code.
But
But yeah, I need to talk with Mahesh and figure out exactly how they do it.
But Nikhil said he makes some coding with Python.
Mm.
That's tricky.
Yeah, well, if using
Because
Python
you
will be much easier, then we can just switch to Python if it saves more time.
yes, but you say that we must use the Java to make our backend coding. Yeah.
Who says that? Me.
You
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's currently Java. It can be switched.
So you can
Yeah.
switch.
And
Yeah.
Java
Be
can
switched
work
to
with Python as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you finish the recording, fill the form, the testing form, and please upload to OneDrive, and I can work on the report.
If we
Yeah.
end this meeting now, I can stop recording and upload the recording so Kim can view it. Do you want the recording as soon as possible, Kim?
I've got pretty much most of the stuff
Okay.
written in one of the Excel file, so it's alright.
Okay, cool.
You can upload it later on. That's alright. Yeah.
And I need to review the management meeting and the client meeting to get some point.
Mm.
After that, I will work on the report next day.
Yep.
So, one thing is we need to schedule a deadline for polish our report. After that, to leave few days for Joy to improve her report. So I think Tuesday. Before Tuesday, what's
Yep.
that? Before Tuesday, we finish our polishing every part.
And
on
then
the
I'll
report.
have Tuesday and I'll have
And
Tuesday
you
and
got
Wednesday, Thursday to.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Because afternoon we need to submit it. So that's okay. So
Yeah, that's cool.
that's good. So before Tuesday, please everyone to polish your parts based on the crispy feedback.
Yep. Last night I polished some of the images in the report in Edward's
Yes.
section. The design section. I put like some of the images just together in one image so it was neater.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I've
same.
been checking other parts as well, like user testing I polished before the testing started. So
And that is, yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't mean that you cannot modify any parts after Tuesday. You can modify it, but please leave some comments.
yeah, just
Let
just
you
tell me,
know.
let me know.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe something it's quick. It's helped you to quick check what is modified. That is easy for each other.
Yeah.
So you can make any change before the Tuesday, not leave any comments. But if after Tuesday, please leave some comments for every you modify it.
Yeah.
Modified. That's okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, I haven't had lunch
So,
yet, so I'm pretty hungry.
yeah, me.
So I think we'll end
Uh,
meeting here. And,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We can chat anytime in the Discord,
Yeah,
or
for sure.
if necessary, we can organize another meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
Good meeting, guys. I think they're really happy with our front end. They kept singing it to the high heavens. So yeah, I think we've done a good job there. We just need to make sure it actually works next semester.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See
All
ya.
right. Thanks, guys. Thanks
Yeah.
for all coming to the meeting.
Yeah.
Take it easy.